So there's a little debate on that. And there's another thing for another works now. I'm learning Japanese. I generally want to watch things in English first and then come back and watch in Japanese later. I would go back later with Japanese and no subtitles and just see what I can pick up and with my general knowledge of the story from what I can remember. So nowadays I'm starting to learn things more in subs so I can see, okay, hear things at the same time, maybe put some words together and learn some Japanese. As long as that. There's a little bit on that. So basically, I recommend if it's known to be good stuff, go into dubs, and then if you don't like that, try subs, or do whichever way you want. I mean, it's up to you anyway. Okay, beyond that, what's the good anime out there? Well, I'm actually not as much of an expert on this as I would like to be. For a couple of reasons. The one, I'm very stingy because I don't have much money, and so I buy few things, right? Relatively few, considering how much I would like to buy and watch. And two, I have ethical concerns about downloading all this stuff illegally off the internet, which, by the way, is where practically everybody seems to get their anime. Though at Anime Club we did have actual DVDs, woohoo. So I'm stuck in well, if I have more money or more access or an anime club in my college, which I suppose I have to get around to setting up. If I had a club in college, then I could get the college to pay for the stuff, and then I would... Anyway, but I've seen a fair amount of things. The first name you need to know is Hayao Miyazaki. And along with that, Isao Takahata and their company, Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, or sometimes even Ghibli. Ghibli, I think, is more of the Japanese pronunciation thing. But they make quite an amazing list and quite an amazing movies. Spirited Away. Incredibly imaginative. And, well, let's just say I've watched it like some 30 times or something. Porco Rosso. Self-described as being among the Miyazaki films more so for adults, but honestly I don't quite see where they're coming from on that, because there's plenty of stuff for kids too. It's well-rounded stuff. My Neighbor Totoro. This is probably the most kiddie of the Miyazaki films, or just Studio Ghibli films. I'm always afraid I'll mix up a Takahata and a Miyazaki film. I could always see Miyazaki because he's the one that did Mononoke and Spirited Away, and he's so anyway. Pom Poko, involving a bunch of raccoons there. See, this one's from Takahata. That's what I was thinking. Kiki's Delivery Service, the aforementioned. Princess Mononoke. The one thing that really ranks up there with Spirited Away. I think this and Spirited Away are the best. It's really hard for me to say one is better than the other, but amazing stuff. My Neighbors the Yamadas. Nice little light-hearted one. With an interesting art style. Whisper of the Heart. The Cat Returns, somewhat related to Whisper of the Heart, but it's not really a sequel prequel thing, so you can watch them in any order. Ah, crap. An early one, Castle of Cagliostro. This one's like, it reminds me of Inspector Gadget in a way. Full of this little zany adventure, but it's still fun anyway. On a more serious note, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Upcoming Castle in the Sky. And my other copy of Spirited Away. So all of these are dubbed in by Disney. You'll see the Disney brand. Disney did not make these films. Disney merely translated them. And it translated them under the guise of John Lasseter, the guy at Pixar Animation, but now he's with Disney because of the whole buyout thing. And John Lasseter is a good friend of Hayao Miyazaki, or at least he describes Hayao Miyazaki as his good friend. And I've seen pictures of them shaking hands and all that. And apparently did a really good job with translation, because I've watched these things in subs and in dubs, and I have a personal opinion on all of these. Dubs is the way to go, unless you know some Japanese and you want to practice that. Oh, wait. One other. The most recent. Howl's Moving Castle. Actually, I have slightly mixed feelings about that, which is horrible for me to say. A Miyazaki film. that I could be... Oh, by the way, these are all feature-length films. I suppose I should clarify these things. Howl's Moving Castle had a lot of the Miyazaki genius in it. You can just see it in all the aesthetics, and the music, and the pictures, and the movement of things. The plot, however, I didn't quite get. Maybe some future time I will quite get it. I don't know. Nah. So anyway, all those are motion pictures, approximately 2 hours or whatever. We expect a motion picture to be. Anime, however, also comes in series. Among the incredibly short list of series that I own, no, maybe I should have these things out in the first place. We have Trigun. Trigun's got like the craziest blend ever of like action, comedy, and drama. Now, various things I mentioned already have elements of all those, but some of this like blends them really well, and it's good, and it's like zany but meaningful. But speaking of meaningful, Hibine Renmei. That's cool. I can't tell you anything about this movie. Let's see. Both of these are series, and what you want to do is always get the series on DVD. Either you're borrowing from somebody or you buy it for yourself or something, but you don't want to see it on TV, and you always interrupt with commercials, and you might miss an episode. You want to get it on DVD, and you want to see it all the way through, and essentially it comes down to like a 8-hour movie or however many episodes there may be, something like that. But Hibine Renmei is just beautiful. It's also very slow paced. For those of you who want action, you're going to hate this thing. Indeed, a couple of friends of mine have seen this and they just hated it. Well, I don't know what the freak you're talking about. It's amazing. Go ask Fred Gallagher. That's how you pronounce Gallagher. I don't know, there's an H in there. Whatever. But beautiful stuff. Stuff that I hardly find anywhere else. And it was looking up who made Hibine Renmei. I happened to come along Technolize, most recent purchase. I also have Serial Experiments Lane lying around here somewhere, but I did not get that out previous to the video. Anyway, haven't watched all those yet, but what I've seen so far of Technolize is very cool, very different, very creative. Other things that I've seen with me, a list here. Oh, Cowboy Bebop. Very famous. I haven't seen the whole dub off of that, but I saw a little, or heard a little bit of it. And that looked just great. I don't think I mentioned a bad dub yet. But see, I'm up right on the upper echelon. There's dozens and dozens of anime series that various people have seen. I'm sure some dubs get really bad. But Cowboy Bebop's got sci-fi and some action and some cool stuff, and I can't spoil anything for you. Fruits Basket, another one of my favorites, another one that I don't own. I started watching Fruits Basket, and for a while I didn't like it. It was too crazy, right? But a friend of mine told me, and I'm telling you, just stay with it, and it gets better. And around episode 5, I really started to warm up to it, and I'll tell you why. Escaflowne is another one. Again, another one. With fantasy themes. Samurai Champloo, some guy gave us Cowboy Bebop, and also very cool. There was a thing, we have one, I think I may have it here. No, Rurouni Kenshin was the one about people with swords. Say samurai, but well, we could expand it to other people that aren't exactly samurai. Anyway, and a friend of mine had recommended that, but you see, I saw Samurai Champloo first, and they're not related to each other in story whatsoever. But Samurai Champloo was made later and made better, in my opinion. The swordplay feels really full and 3D, and heck, the plot feels really good too. And then you get back to Rurouni Kenshin from a while back, and it's just like, and then this little zip of light will go like zing, and that's like the representation of the sword swinging. Zing, 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 zing. And in Champloo, it's like actually swinging it, and like the camera's tilting at the same time, and you just have to see it for yourself.